You are listening to You versus You, the battle to become your best self, a powerful motivational audiobook about self-discipline, personal growth, emotional control, and mastering your mindset. This audiobook is for anyone who feels stuck, unmotivated, overwhelmed, or tired of starting over. If you are searching for motivation, self-improvement, mental strength, or a way to become your best self, you are in the right place. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. Your biggest enemy is not your past. It is not other people. It is not your situation. Your biggest enemy is the version of you that chooses comfort over growth. Every single day, you wake up as two people. One wants to stay the same, the other wants to improve. One wants to scroll, delay, and relax. The other wants discipline, focus, and progress. This is the real meaning of you versus you. Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they keep listening to the weaker voice inside them. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, not successful. That is why change feels uncomfortable. That is why discipline feels painful at first. That is why becoming your best self feels like a battle. Motivation comes and goes. Self-discipline stays. People who master their emotions and control their habits are not special. They simply stop negotiating with themselves. They do what needs to be done even when they don't feel like it. Confidence is not something you think yourself into. Confidence is built when you keep promises to yourself. Every small action matters. Every decision shapes your identity. When you choose discipline, you become stronger. When you choose comfort, you stay the same. This audiobook is not here to excite you for 5 minutes. It is here to help you build mental toughness, emotional strength, and self-control. Because once you learn how to control your thoughts, your emotions, and your habits, your entire life starts to change. If this message connects with you, if you want more motivational audiobooks about self-improvement, discipline, mindset, and personal growth, make sure you subscribe to the Motivational Audiobook Spot. This channel is dedicated to helping you win the battle within and become the strongest version of yourself. Stay focused, stay present, because this is only the beginning. Most people believe that once they understand what is wrong, change will happen automatically. It doesn't. Awareness alone never changes a life. Action does. You already know what you should be doing. You should be waking up earlier. You should be working on your goals consistently. You should be controlling your emotions instead of letting them control you. The problem is not knowledge. The problem is resistance. Resistance is that invisible force that shows up right when you decide to improve. It makes simple things feel heavy. It makes small tasks feel overwhelming. It makes quitting feel logical. And resistance always sounds reasonable. It says, you're tired. It says, you can start tomorrow. It says, one day won't matter. But resistance never tells you the truth. The truth is that every time you delay, resistance gets stronger. And every time you act despite resistance, you get stronger. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to suffer. It is about teaching your mind who is in control. When you wake up and do what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, something powerful happens. You build self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Most people lack confidence not because they are incapable, but because they keep breaking promises to themselves. They say they will change. They say they will start. They say they will stay consistent. And then they don't. Over time, the mind stops believing them. That's why discipline feels heavy in the beginning. You are not just building habits. You are rebuilding trust with yourself. The brain does not change through intensity. It changes through repetition. Small actions done daily will always defeat big actions done occasionally. You don't need to transform your entire life today. You need to win the next decision. Drink the water. Start the task. Take the step. Finish what you begin. These small wins slowly silence the voice of doubt. The more you act, the quieter resistance becomes. The more you delay, the louder it gets. This is why consistency matters more than motivation. Motivation makes you feel good. Consistency makes you effective. The strongest people are not the most emotional. They are the most disciplined. They do not wait for perfect conditions. They create momentum. Momentum is built when action comes first and emotion follows. This audiobook is not asking you to be extreme. It is asking you to be honest. Honest about how much time you waste. Honest about how often you avoid discomfort. Honest about how many times you choose easy instead of right. Because change begins with truth. Every habit begins with a choice, and every choice is a test of your inner strength. Most people underestimate the power of small decisions. They think only big, dramatic actions define their future. But the truth is, your life is shaped more by the tiny, repeated actions you take when no one is watching. The brain is a pattern-seeking machine. It wants to conserve energy, repeat familiar routines, and avoid uncertainty. That is why breaking old habits feels like a battle. That is why starting a new routine feels heavy. Every time you push through resistance, you create a new neural pathway. You teach your brain that discomfort does not equal danger. You teach it that progress is safe. Procrastination is not laziness. It is fear disguised as busyness. It tells you that you are preparing, when in reality you are avoiding the discomfort of growth. The way to defeat procrastination is deceptively simple. Start before you feel ready. Action creates readiness. Momentum follows the first step. Emotional control is another secret weapon of high achievers. Most people let moods dictate actions. They wait to feel motivated or feel confident before acting. That is the trap. True self-discipline means acting even when emotions are low, when energy is depleted, when doubt is present. You do not need permission from your feelings to do what matters. Your mind is like water. It flows in the path of least resistance. Guide it, shape it, direct it daily. Decide which habits define your identity and repeat them relentlessly. Morning routines, focused work sessions, exercise, reflection, journaling, gratitude. These are not arbitrary tasks. They are tools to build resilience, self-trust, and unstoppable momentum. Understand this. Discomfort is temporary, but regret is permanent. Every time you choose temporary ease over your long-term vision, you reinforce mediocrity. Every time you choose action over avoidance, you strengthen your identity as someone who delivers, who perseveres, who wins against the inner voice that wants to quit. Accountability is essential. The strongest people do not rely solely on internal motivation. They create external systems to support their discipline. Public commitments, tracking progress, accountability partners, visible milestones. These tools help you stay consistent when your internal drive falters. Reflection is equally important. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I honor my commitments? Did I act despite resistance? Did I strengthen my mind, body, and habits? If the answer is yes, you reinforce the belief that you can trust yourself. If the answer is no, you adjust, recommit, and start again. Building discipline is not about perfection. It is about resilience, consistency, and learning to choose the right action over the easy action every single time. Your identity grows each time you act with intention, each time you resist comfort, each time you choose growth over stagnation. If you are still listening, that means something inside you is ready. Ready to embrace discipline, to master habits, and to build an identity of unstoppable action. The next part will teach you practical step-by-step methods to structure your day, build a morning and evening system, and create habits that stick for life. habits that define the person you are becoming. Every day is a new opportunity to strengthen the version of yourself that wins. But winning does not happen by chance. It happens by design. The most successful people do not rely on random bursts of motivation. They design their days, their habits, and their environment to make action inevitable. Start by controlling the first hour of your day. Your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. Wake up early, avoid distractions, and complete one meaningful task immediately. This is not about doing a checklist. It is about sending a clear signal to your brain. You are in control. You are someone who acts, not someone who waits. Evening routines are just as important. How you close your day determines how easily you will begin the next one. Reflection, planning, and small wins compound over time. Journaling, reviewing your progress, and setting intentions for tomorrow train your mind to focus on what matters. They turn random effort into deliberate progress. Habits are the architecture of your life. Small, consistent actions build identity faster than any motivational speech ever could. Drinking water when you wake up, exercising consistently, reading daily, or tackling your hardest task first, these are the bricks of self-discipline. Each repeated habit tells your brain who you are and what you value. Procrastination is the enemy of identity. Every time you delay, you tell your mind, comfort matters more than growth. Every time you act despite discomfort, you tell your mind, I am stronger than resistance. Eventually, repeated action rewires your brain and resistance becomes weaker. It no longer dictates your choices. Emotions will fluctuate. Energy will rise and fall. Motivation will come and go. But discipline is constant. When you commit to a system, your results no longer depend on how you feel. You become unstoppable because your environment, habits, and identity are aligned toward growth. Self-sabotage is a learned behavior, but it can be unlearned. Start by identifying the triggers that lead you to avoid action or give in to comfort. Is it stress, boredom, fear, or indecision? Once you recognize the patterns, replace them with immediate actions that reinforce your best self. Don't negotiate with excuses. Act first. Feel later. Consistency is your greatest ally. It compounds silently, invisibly, but powerfully. Small wins each day create momentum that becomes unstoppable over time. Missed days are setbacks only if you let them define you. Keep showing up. Keep making the right choice, no matter how small it seems. Accountability accelerates transformation. Track your progress, share your goals with someone who supports your growth, and measure your actions, not just your intentions. Self-discipline grows faster when it is visible and reinforced by external systems. Your brain wants to default to comfort, but your identity can override that. Decide who you are becoming, not just what you want to achieve. Repeat the actions of that person daily. Make it non-negotiable. Make it automatic. When identity drives action, resistance loses all power. If you are still listening, that means your inner self is ready to take the next step. Ready to design a daily system that supports growth, discipline, and unstoppable progress. In the next part, you will learn the advanced strategies to create habits that stick, eliminate distractions permanently, and structure your environment to guarantee success. Focus is the currency of high achievers. Every distraction you allow steals energy, momentum, and identity. Most people underestimate the subtle ways their attention is hijacked. Social media, endless notifications, unnecessary meetings, random tasks. Each tiny interruption chips away at your ability to act with purpose. To master your mind, you must protect your attention like a fortress. Identify your most important tasks, the ones that move your life forward, and guard them fiercely. Schedule uninterrupted blocks of focused work. Remove distractions before you start. The brain can only sustain deep focus when it is shielded from chaos. Energy management is just as critical as time management. High performers know when their peak mental hours occur and structure their most important actions during that window. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mental clarity are not optional. They are non-negotiable tools for performance. Discipline in these areas compounds results across every domain of life. Decision fatigue is real. Every choice drains mental energy, which is why habits and routines are so powerful. Automate the small decisions. Reduce friction for good behavior and increase friction for bad behavior. Make it easy to act in alignment with your goals and hard to give in to old patterns. Your environment shapes your identity silently but relentlessly. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, the spaces you occupy, all of these create subtle pressure that influences your behavior. If your environment tolerates mediocrity, you will too. If your environment celebrates growth, you will rise naturally. Momentum is not built overnight. It is built through repeated, aligned action. Each completed task, each small win, compounds into a sense of self-trust. This self-trust becomes unshakable when you see yourself consistently honoring your commitments. Once self-trust is established, you no longer negotiate with excuses. Action becomes default. Procrastination is not about time. It is about identity. You don't delay because the task is hard. You delay because part of you still identifies with comfort, avoidance, and safety. Every action you take, no matter how small, reinforces the identity of someone who delivers, who perseveres, who chooses growth over ease. Reflection is a critical tool for mastery. Daily or weekly review allows you to see patterns, identify weak points, and course correct before small failures compound. This is how high performers stay ahead. They do not wait for motivation. They use reflection, planning, and alignment to guarantee progress. Accountability multiplies results. When your commitments are visible, whether to yourself, a partner, or a team, you honor them more consistently. Systems of accountability do not replace discipline. They amplify it. They make it harder to hide from yourself and easier to act in alignment with your highest standards. The ultimate lesson is simple. Your life is a reflection of your choices, repeated daily. Every moment you choose action over avoidance, growth over comfort, discipline over laziness, you are rewriting your identity. You are becoming the person capable of achieving extraordinary results. Habit formation is where the real battle is won or lost. Most people try to change everything at once. They set massive goals, plan dramatic transformations, and expect immediate results. That is why so many fail. The brain does not respond to intensity. It responds to repetition. Small, consistent actions build unstoppable momentum over time. Start by identifying keystone habits, the few behaviors that trigger positive change across all areas of your life. These could be waking up early, exercising, journaling, or planning your day. Focus on one habit at a time. Master it. Make it automatic. Then layer the next one. This is how compounding success is built. The key to habit mastery is consistency, not perfection. Skipping a day does not undo your progress, but abandoning your standard repeatedly does. Your identity is formed through repeated action. Each time you follow through, your brain strengthens the neural pathway of the disciplined self. Each time you delay, it strengthens the pathway of the procrastinating self. Triggers and cues are powerful tools. Associate habits with specific times, places, or preceding actions. For example, after brushing your teeth, meditate for 2 minutes. After morning coffee, review your daily priorities. By linking habits to existing routines, you reduce friction and increase automaticity. Accountability mechanisms accelerate habit formation. Track your actions visibly. Share progress with someone who supports your growth. Make commitments public when possible. These systems leverage external pressure to reinforce internal discipline, making it far easier to sustain habits over time. Emotional mastery is inseparable from habit mastery. Most people fail to maintain habits because they wait for the right mood or energy level. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is reliable. Build the ability to act even when emotions are low. This is how habits survive the fluctuations of life. Environment is your silent partner. Remove temptations. Reduce distractions. Surround yourself with people, tools, and spaces that reinforce your identity. When your surroundings align with your goals, self-discipline becomes easier, almost automatic. When they oppose your goals, every action feels like a battle. Celebrate small wins, but do not rely on them for motivation. Recognition is helpful, but your primary reinforcement is identity alignment. Each time you follow through, you signal to your brain, I am the type of person who does what needs to be done. This slowly rewires your mind to make disciplined action the default. Failure is inevitable, but it is not fatal. Every time you fail, you gain data. Analyze what caused the lapse, adjust your system, and recommit. Resilience is not bouncing back once. It is the ability to continue creating positive momentum despite setbacks. Your strongest self emerges through consistent recovery, not unbroken success. If you are still listening, your inner self is ready to go deeper. In the next part, we will explore advanced strategies to defeat mental resistance permanently. Structure a daily discipline system that eliminates procrastination, and cultivate the mindset that guarantees growth, focus, and unstoppable personal progress. Your mind is constantly negotiating with you. It whispers excuses, justifications, and fears. It says, you deserve rest. You can start tomorrow, or one day won't matter. This internal dialogue is normal, but it is not truth. The truth is that every moment you give in, you reinforce the version of you that settles, avoids, and quits. Every moment you act despite doubt, you strengthen the version of you that wins. High achievers understand this invisible battle and structure their lives around winning it. They do not rely on motivation because motivation is fleeting. They rely on systems, habits, and identity alignment. When you act in accordance with who you want to become, your brain stops arguing. Action becomes default, and resistance loses power. Procrastination is fear disguised as logic. It disguises avoidance as planning, preparation, or the need for perfect conditions. The antidote is immediate action. Do not wait to feel ready. Act first. Momentum follows. Confidence is built in the doing, not the thinking. To master yourself, you must treat each decision as a vote for the person you want to become. Small actions matter more than grand gestures. Drinking water in the morning, starting the first task on your list, sending the email you've been delaying, these micro actions reinforce identity, discipline, and momentum. Over time, the cumulative effect is massive. Mental resistance is strongest at the beginning, when habits are new and the brain resists change. Each time you push through, you are literally reshaping your neural pathways. You are training your brain to prioritize growth over comfort. This is the essence of self-mastery, repeated action in the presence of resistance. Discipline is not punishment. It is the practice of self-respect. Every time you honor your commitments to yourself, you build trust. Self-trust is the foundation of confidence, courage, and personal power. Without it, even knowledge, talent, or opportunity cannot help you achieve your potential. Environment amplifies discipline. Remove distractions, surround yourself with supportive people, and create spaces that make focused work easier. Systems are your allies. A clean desk, a structured schedule, and a predictable routine reduce the mental energy needed to choose the right actions. reflection and review are essential. At the end of each day, ask, did I act according to my highest standards? Did I strengthen my habits, my identity, and my self-trust? If the answer is yes, you reinforce progress. If the answer is no, adjust, recommit, and act again. Success compounds when reflection meets action. Accountability multiplies results. Track your progress visibly. Share your goals with someone who will hold you responsible. This external reinforcement strengthens internal discipline and prevents lapses from becoming patterns. If you are still listening, your inner self is ready for the next level. In the next part, we will break down a step-by-step daily discipline system, show exactly how to eliminate procrastination, and reveal advanced mental strategies to permanently rewire habits, focus, and self-control. Discipline is forged in the small, unseen moments. Most people wait for a grand event, a perfect day, or a surge of motivation to start acting. That is the trap. Real growth happens in the ordinary moments when you choose action over comfort, every single day. Your mind will resist. It will argue, distract, and justify. It will tell you that rest is deserved, that the task can wait, that today does not matter. These are lies disguised as logic. Every time you act despite the voice of resistance, you strengthen your mental muscles and reinforce the identity of someone who follows through. Focus is the most undervalued skill. Your ability to concentrate on high-impact tasks without distraction determines your results far more than talent or luck. Guard your attention fiercely. Remove unnecessary distractions. Structure your environment to make success the easy choice and avoidance the hard choice. Energy is another hidden factor. High achievers know that peak performance is not about working harder, but working smarter with aligned energy. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mental clarity are the foundation. When your body and mind are optimized, discipline becomes sustainable and effortless over time. The key to habit mastery is repetition. The brain forms strong neural pathways through consistent action, not occasional bursts of effort. Start small. Commit to one habit at a time. Make it automatic. Then layer the next. Small, repeated victories compound into extraordinary results. Procrastination is fear wearing a mask. It tells you that preparation is necessary, that timing must be perfect, that conditions are not right. The antidote is immediate action. Start before you feel ready. Confidence and momentum are created in the doing, not the thinking. Emotional mastery is critical. You cannot wait to feel motivated or confident before taking action. Motivation fluctuates, but discipline is constant. Train yourself to act even when energy is low, when doubt is present, or when discomfort arises. Each act of control strengthens your self-trust and resilience. Your identity drives your habits more than your goals do. Stop thinking in terms of what I want to achieve, and start thinking in terms of who I want to become. Each decision, each action, each repeated habit is a vote for your future self. Align your actions with the identity you desire. Reflection and review solidify growth. End each day asking, did I act according to my standards? Did I strengthen my habits? Did I reinforce my identity? If yes, you compound success. If no, adjust and recommit. Success comes from consistent, deliberate action combined with honest reflection. Systems and routines are allies, not restrictions. A structured morning, focused work sessions, and an intentional evening routine reduce friction, eliminate decision fatigue, and make disciplined action automatic. Momentum is built when the system works for you, not against you. Success is not built in grand gestures. It is built in repeated, consistent actions. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you are becoming. Skipping one task may seem insignificant, but repeated decisions to act or to avoid action compound over time into the life you experience. The brain resists change naturally. It prefers comfort, predictability, and safety. That is why new habits feel heavy, why self-discipline feels uncomfortable, and why procrastination feels logical. Every time you act despite this resistance, you are literally rewiring your brain. You are teaching it that discomfort does not equal danger, that growth is safe, and that discipline leads to freedom. Momentum is your greatest ally. Small, repeated wins generate energy and confidence that snowball over time. Completing the first task of the day, sending the message you've been delaying, finishing the work others avoid, these actions build invisible power. Over days, weeks, and months, momentum becomes unstoppable. Discipline is built through systems, not motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Systems are permanent. Align your environment, your habits, and your routines so that action becomes easy and avoidance becomes costly. The less friction you create for good habits, the more automatic they become. The more friction you create for distractions, the weaker their hold. Procrastination is fear disguised as logic. It tells you that waiting, preparing, or finding the right time is necessary. The truth is, readiness comes through action. Start before you feel ready. Momentum will create clarity, energy, and confidence that waiting never will. Identity is the hidden driver of behavior. You do not rise by simply setting goals. You rise by becoming the type of person who achieves those goals. Every choice, habit, and action reinforces your identity. Act as the person you want to be, even when it feels uncomfortable. Repetition will make it automatic. Reflection is a multiplier. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I act in alignment with my highest standards? Did I reinforce my habits and strengthen my identity? If yes, you compound progress. If no, learn, adjust, and recommit. The most successful people do not wait for perfect execution. They refine, reflect, and persist consistently. Emotional mastery is inseparable from habit mastery. You will feel doubt, fear, fatigue, and frustration. The key is to act despite these feelings. Motivation may fluctuate, but disciplined action does not. Acting in the presence of resistance strengthens your mind, self-trust, and emotional resilience. Systems, routines, and accountability are accelerators. A structured morning, focused work blocks, intentional breaks, and a reflective evening routine reduce decision fatigue, minimize distractions, and make disciplined action almost automatic. Share your commitments with someone who holds you accountable. Visibility and external pressure reinforce internal discipline. Breaking old patterns requires a deep understanding of triggers. Most self-sabotage begins automatically, without conscious thought. Certain situations, emotions, or environments activate habitual responses that pull you toward comfort, distraction, or avoidance. The first step in mastering yourself is to identify these triggers. Awareness alone is not enough. You must design preemptive actions to respond differently. For example, if stress triggers scrolling on your phone, replace that reaction with a short walk, a few deep breaths, or immediate action on your most important task. Replace automatic avoidance with deliberate response. Each small correction strengthens self-control. Mental resistance is strongest at the start of a new habit. Your brain will try to convince you that effort is unnecessary, that today does not matter, or that one delay will not affect your progress. These are lies. Every delayed action compounds resistance. Every action, despite doubt, builds momentum. Focus is not optional. It is a skill that must be trained. Guard your attention like a valuable asset. Block time for high-impact work. Remove distractions, mute notifications, and create a workspace that makes discipline easy. The easier you make it to act, the stronger your habits become. Energy management multiplies results. Sleep, nutrition, movement, and mental clarity are not indulgences. They are necessary for sustained performance. When your body and mind are optimized, your ability to act decisively and consistently increases exponentially. Start small but be relentless. One habit, repeated daily, has more power than multiple habits attempted inconsistently. Morning routines, exercise, journaling, focused work sessions. Choose one keystone habit, master it, then add the next. Compound results come from consistency, not intensity. Procrastination is fear disguised as preparation. Waiting for the right time is a trap. Momentum is created through immediate action. Begin before you feel ready. Action produces clarity, energy, and confidence, while waiting only reinforces doubt and avoidance. Self-trust is your greatest asset. Each time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you reinforce confidence, self-respect, and identity. Repeated action builds an unshakable belief that you are capable, reliable, and disciplined. Reflection is essential. At the end of each day, ask, did I act in alignment with my goals and values? Did I follow through despite resistance? Did I reinforce the habits and identity of my best self? Honest answers allow adjustment, recommitment, and compounding progress. Systems and routines are your allies. A structured morning, focused work sessions, intentional breaks, and a reflective evening routine reduce decision fatigue, minimize distraction, and make disciplined action automatic. Combine these with accountability to amplify your results. Every person has an internal battlefield. The version of you that craves comfort is constantly at war with the version that demands growth. Most people lose this battle because they never notice it is happening. They think failure is external, caused by circumstances, people, or luck. The truth is, your biggest enemy is inside your own mind. Self-discipline is the weapon to win this battle. It is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in small, consistent choices repeated daily. Choosing action over avoidance, progress over comfort, and consistency over convenience slowly reshapes your identity. These choices may feel small, but their compound effect is life-changing. Resistance is always present. It comes in many forms: distraction, fatigue, doubt, or even the illusion of preparation. Every time you feel like postponing, every time you hesitate, recognize it as resistance speaking. Act despite it. Momentum is created through repeated action, not through waiting for motivation. Your habits define your future. Keystone habits, the few behaviors that trigger widespread improvement, are the most powerful. Focus on one at a time. Make it automatic. Once a habit is embedded, it reinforces identity. Your environment, routines, and systems should support these habits, making good behavior easier and bad behavior harder. Procrastination is fear wearing a mask of logic. It tells you that now is not the right time, that conditions must be perfect, or that one delay will not matter. The antidote is simple: act immediately. Begin before you feel ready. Confidence and momentum are built in the doing, not the thinking. Emotional mastery is non-negotiable. You cannot wait to feel motivated, confident, or energized before taking action. Discipline means acting when emotions are low, when energy is depleted, and when doubt is present. Every act of control strengthens your mind, self-trust, and resilience. Reflection multiplies results. End each day asking, did I act according to my highest standards? Did I honor my commitments to myself? Did I strengthen my habits and identity? Honest answers allow adjustment, recommitment, and continuous growth. Consistency is more powerful than perfection. Accountability accelerates success. Track progress visibly, share commitments with someone who supports your growth, and create systems that make disciplined action unavoidable. External reinforcement strengthens internal discipline, making momentum sustainable and setbacks easier to overcome. The ultimate truth is this: your life is a reflection of your repeated choices. Each moment you choose growth over comfort, action over avoidance, and discipline over convenience, you reinforce the person you want to become. The battle is ongoing, but each victory compounds into unstoppable progress. Your brain is constantly negotiating with you, trying to keep you safe, comfortable, and unchallenged. It prefers familiar patterns, even when they limit your potential. That is why breaking old habits and creating new ones feels so uncomfortable at first. Change is perceived as a threat until repeated action rewires the mind. Start by taking control of your environment. Small changes in your surroundings can dramatically reduce resistance, remove distractions, simplify decision-making, and make the right actions the easiest ones to take. When your environment supports your goals, self-discipline becomes almost automatic. Consistency beats intensity every time. You don't need to overhaul your life in a single day. Focus on small, repeatable actions. One disciplined choice after another compounds into massive results over weeks, months, and years. Missing one day is not failure. It is only failure if you stop showing up repeatedly. Keystone habits are powerful because they trigger chain reactions in other areas of your life. Morning exercise can improve focus, energy, and mood throughout the day. Journaling can increase clarity and reduce stress. Completing the first difficult task each morning builds momentum that carries through everything else. Identify your keystone habits, master them, and let them shape your identity. Procrastination is fear disguised as preparation. Waiting for the perfect moment, the right energy, or the ideal conditions is a trap. The antidote is immediate action. Start now. Begin before you feel ready. Momentum, confidence, and clarity come from doing, not thinking. Self-trust is your most important asset. Every time you honor a commitment to yourself, no matter how small, you reinforce the identity of someone capable, disciplined, and reliable. Break one promise to yourself, and the mind learns to doubt. Keep every promise, and your confidence compounds into unstoppable self-belief. Reflection is a force multiplier. Each evening, review your day. Did you act according to your highest standards? Did you strengthen your habits and identity? Honest answers allow course correction and ensure that small lapses do not become patterns. Discipline grows faster than talent or luck because it is consistent. Accountability is a shortcut to success. Make commitments visible. Share your goals with someone who supports your growth and track your progress. External reinforcement magnifies internal discipline and helps maintain momentum, especially when motivation fluctuates. Identity drives behavior more than goals do. Stop asking what you should achieve and start asking who you want to become. Each choice, habit, and repeated action is a vote for that person. Align your actions with your desired identity, and your mind will follow. If you are still listening, it shows your inner self is ready to go further. In the next part, we will break down practical step-by-step strategies to permanently eliminate procrastination, build unstoppable focus, and create a daily system that guarantees personal growth, mental strength, and self-discipline. Every day presents a choice: to grow or to stay the same. Most people believe growth happens through luck, opportunity, or talent. The truth is far simpler and far more empowering. Growth happens through repeated, disciplined action, even when you don't feel like it. The inner battle is constant. One version of you craves comfort, ease, and avoidance. The other craves progress, mastery, and strength. Every moment you act in alignment with your higher self, you win a small but meaningful victory. Over time, these victories compound into a powerful identity. Discipline is built, not born. It is forged in the small, consistent actions that go unnoticed by the world, but define your character. Waking up early, completing your most important task first, choosing focus over distraction. These are the choices that shape your life. Each repetition rewires your brain, strengthens self-trust, and reinforces your identity. Resistance will always appear when growth is near. It whispers excuses, delays, and justifications. You're too tired. You can start tomorrow. One day won't matter. These thoughts are normal, but they are not truth. Every time you act despite them, you send a signal to your brain. Progress matters more than comfort. Procrastination is fear disguised as logic. Waiting for the right moment is a trap. The antidote is immediate action. Begin before you feel ready. Momentum builds in motion, not in hesitation. Confidence is created through doing, not thinking. Your environment shapes your habits, which in turn shape your identity. Reduce friction for good behavior and increase friction for bad behavior. Surround yourself with people, spaces, and systems that make disciplined action easier. When the path to growth is the easiest path, your results compound naturally. Reflection is the bridge between action and improvement. Accountability accelerates transformation. Visible tracking, sharing goals, and measurable progress make it harder to hide from yourself. Accountability reinforces internal discipline and ensures momentum continues even when motivation fades. Identity matters more than goals. Stop asking what you should do. Start asking who you want to become. Each choice, habit, and repeated action votes for that identity. High performers understand one simple truth. Action precedes motivation. Most people wait to feel ready before they act. They believe energy, confidence, or the perfect conditions must come first. That is the trap. Momentum and clarity are created in motion, not in waiting. Every decision you make is a vote for the person you are becoming. Choosing comfort, distraction, or avoidance strengthens the version of you that settles. Choosing focus, action, and growth strengthens the version of you that wins. Your identity is built in these small, repeated moments. Resistance is natural. The brain evolved to protect you from discomfort, not to make you successful. That is why starting a new habit, tackling a difficult task, or breaking procrastination feels hard. Every time you act despite resistance, you teach your brain that growth is safe and progress is inevitable. Habits are the architecture of your identity. Keystone habits, small, consistent behaviors that trigger positive change, are powerful because they shape other areas of life. Exercise, journaling, focused work, and reflection are examples. Master one habit at a time. Make it automatic, then add the next. Success compounds through consistency, not intensity. Procrastination is fear wearing a logical disguise. It convinces you to delay, plan endlessly, or wait for the perfect moment. Start before you feel ready. Action produces readiness, clarity, and confidence. Waiting only reinforces doubt and strengthens old patterns. Self-trust is your greatest asset. Every time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you reinforce the identity of someone capable, disciplined, and reliable. Break promises to yourself, and your mind learns doubt. Keep every promise, and confidence compounds into unshakable self-belief. Reflection multiplies results. Each evening, ask, did I act in alignment with my goals? Did I honor my habits? Did I reinforce my identity? Honest answers allow adjustment, recommitment, and compounding growth. Consistency matters far more than perfection. Accountability accelerates transformation. Track your progress visibly, share your commitments with someone who supports your growth, and create systems that make disciplined action unavoidable. External reinforcement strengthens internal discipline and ensures momentum is maintained. Identity drives behavior more than goals. Stop asking, "What should I do?" Start asking, "Who do I want to become?" Each choice, each habit, each repeated action is a vote for that identity. Align your life with the person you wish to be, and your mind will naturally follow. If you are still listening, your inner self is ready for the next level. In the next part, we will explore advanced strategies to permanently eliminate procrastination, build unstoppable focus, and design a daily system that makes self-discipline effortless, consistent, and automatic. Every breakthrough begins with awareness, but awareness alone is not enough. Most people know what they should do. They should wake up earlier, focus on their priorities, or control their impulses. But knowing is not acting. Action bridges the gap between who you are and who you want to become. Start by identifying the patterns that keep you stuck. When do you procrastinate? When do you give in to distraction or comfort? These are the moments where your inner battle is most intense. Recognize them, anticipate them, and plan your response. Replace avoidance with deliberate action. Each successful response strengthens self-control. Resistance will appear every time you try to improve. It disguises itself as logic. You're too tired? You can start tomorrow? One day won't matter? These are lies. Every time you act despite resistance, you signal to your brain that growth is more important than comfort, and momentum begins to build. Small wins are the foundation of discipline. Completing one task you've been avoiding, sticking to a simple habit, or finishing what you started, even when you don't feel like it, creates invisible power. Over time, these wins compound, rewiring your mind, building confidence, and reinforcing identity. Accountability accelerates transformation. Visible tracking, sharing goals, and measurable progress make it harder to hide from yourself. Accountability reinforces internal discipline and ensures momentum continues even when motivation fades. Identity matters more than goals. Stop asking what you should do. Start asking who you want to become. Each choice, habit, and repeated action votes for that identity. High performers understand one simple truth. Action precedes motivation. Most people wait to feel ready before they act. They believe energy, confidence, or the perfect conditions must come first. That is the trap. Momentum and clarity are created in motion, not in waiting. Every decision you make is a vote for the person you are becoming. Choosing comfort, distraction, or avoidance strengthens the version of you that settles. Choosing focus, action, and growth strengthens the version of you that wins. Your identity is built in these small, repeated moments. Resistance is natural. The brain evolved to protect you from discomfort, not to make you successful. That is why starting a new habit, tackling a difficult task, or breaking procrastination feels hard. Every time you act despite resistance, you teach your brain that growth is safe and progress is inevitable. Habits are the architecture of your identity. Keystone habits, small, consistent behaviors that trigger positive change, are powerful because they shape other areas of life. Exercise, journaling, focused work, and reflection are examples. Master one habit at a time. Make it automatic, then add the next. Success compounds through consistency, not intensity. Procrastination is fear wearing a logical disguise. It convinces you to delay, plan endlessly, or wait for the perfect moment. Start before you feel ready. Action produces readiness, clarity, and confidence. Waiting only reinforces doubt and strengthens old patterns. Self-trust is your greatest asset. Every time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you reinforce the identity of someone capable, disciplined, and reliable. Break promises to yourself, and your mind learns doubt. Keep every promise, and confidence compounds into unshakable self-belief. Reflection multiplies results. Each evening, ask, did I act in alignment with my goals? Did I honor my habits? Did I reinforce my identity? Honest answers allow adjustment, recommitment, and compounding growth. Consistency matters far more than perfection. Accountability accelerates transformation. Track your progress visibly, share your commitments with someone who supports your growth, and create systems that make disciplined action unavoidable. External reinforcement strengthens internal discipline and ensures momentum is maintained. Identity drives behavior more than goals. Stop asking, what should I do? Start asking, who do I want to become? Each choice, each habit, each repeated action is a vote for that identity. Align your life with the person you wish to be, and your mind will naturally follow. If you are still listening, your inner self is ready for the next level. In the next part, we will explore advanced strategies to permanently eliminate procrastination, build unstoppable focus, and design a daily system that makes self-discipline effortless, consistent, and automatic. Every breakthrough begins with awareness, but awareness alone is not enough. Most people know what they should do. They should wake up earlier, focus on their priorities, or control their impulses. But knowing is not acting. Action bridges the gap between who you are and who you want to become. Start by identifying the patterns that keep you stuck. When do you procrastinate? When do you give in to distraction or comfort? These are the moments where your inner battle is most intense. Recognize them, anticipate them, and plan your response. Replace avoidance with deliberate action. Each successful response strengthens self-control. Resistance will appear every time you try to improve. It disguises itself as logic. You're too tired? You can start tomorrow? One day won't matter? These are lies. Every time you act despite resistance, you signal to your brain that growth is more important than comfort, and momentum begins to build. Small wins are the foundation of discipline. Completing one task you've been avoiding, sticking to a simple habit, or finishing what you started, even when you don't feel like it, creates invisible power. Over time, these wins compound, rewiring your mind, building confidence, and reinforcing identity. Procrastination is fear wearing a mask of reasoning. Waiting for perfect conditions, energy, or clarity is a trap. Action creates readiness. Momentum grows in motion. Confidence is built through doing, not thinking. Reflection and review are essential tools. Each day, ask yourself, did I act according to my highest standards? Did I follow through on my commitments? Did I strengthen my habits and identity? Honest answers allow course correction, recommitment, and consistent growth. Environment amplifies discipline. Surround yourself with supportive people, remove distractions, and create spaces that make focused action easier. Systems are your allies. Morning routines, structured work blocks, and intentional evening habits reduce friction and make disciplined behavior almost automatic. Identity drives behavior. Stop focusing solely on goals. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Each repeated action, choice, and habit is a vote for that identity. Align your life with that person, and your brain will follow naturally. Self-trust is the ultimate foundation. Every promise you keep to yourself, no matter how small, strengthens confidence and reinforces identity. Break promises, and the mind learns doubt. Keep them consistently, and self-discipline becomes effortless over time. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort. It prefers ease, predictability, and safety. That is why starting new habits, tackling difficult tasks, or breaking procrastination feels heavy at first. The discomfort is temporary, but the results of action compound into permanent growth. Start by controlling the smallest, most repeatable actions. Waking up early, completing your first task immediately, drinking water, exercising, journaling. These micro actions are deceptively simple, but they build momentum, self-trust, and identity over time. Repetition transforms effort into automatic behavior. Resistance is strongest at the beginning. Your brain will argue, distract, and justify. You're too tired. You can start tomorrow. It won't matter today. These are lies. Every time you act despite resistance, you teach your mind that growth is safe, that discomfort is temporary, and that you are in control. Consistency beats intensity. One small habit repeated daily is more powerful than sporadic bursts of effort. Master one habit at a time, then layer the next. Compound effect is the secret of all high achievers. It turns ordinary action into extraordinary results over months and years. Procrastination is fear disguised as preparation. Waiting for the right moment or perfect conditions is a trap. Momentum is created through action, not waiting. Start before you feel ready. Confidence, clarity, and energy grow in the doing. Self-trust is your most important asset. Every time you honor a commitment to yourself, no matter how small, you reinforce the identity of someone capable, reliable, and disciplined. Break promises to yourself, and doubt grows. Keep promises, and self-discipline compounds into unshakable confidence. Reflection multiplies results. End each day asking, did I follow through? Did I honor my habits? Did I strengthen my identity? Honest answers allow adjustment and recommitment. Discipline grows faster than talent or luck because it is consistent, deliberate, and reinforced by daily action. Environment amplifies results. Surround yourself with people, spaces, and systems that make disciplined action easier. Remove distractions. Increase friction for bad habits. Morning routines, structured work blocks, and evening reflection are tools to make success almost automatic. Identity drives behavior more than goals. Stop asking what you should achieve. Start asking who you want to become. Each repeated action, habit, and choice is a vote for that identity. Align your life with that person, and your brain will follow naturally. Action is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Most people wait for motivation, clarity, or energy before taking the first step. That is a trap. Momentum, confidence, and readiness are created through action, not waiting. The simple act of starting, before you feel ready, triggers a cascade of progress. Every small decision matters. Choosing focus over distraction, growth over comfort, and consistency over convenience reinforces the identity of someone who delivers, perseveres, and rises above resistance. These repeated actions, invisible to the outside world, build the foundation of extraordinary success. Resistance will always appear when growth is near. It disguises itself as logic, comfort, or procrastination. You're too tired. You can start tomorrow. One day won't matter. These thoughts are normal, but they are not truth. Every time you act despite resistance, you build momentum and strengthen self-trust. Habits are the architecture of identity. Keystone habits, small, consistent actions that trigger positive change in other areas of life, are the most powerful. Morning routines, exercise, journaling, focused work sessions, master one at a time. Make it automatic, then add the next. Consistency compounds into extraordinary results. Procrastination is fear disguised as logic. Waiting for the perfect conditions, the right energy, or the ideal moment is a trap. Begin before you feel ready. Confidence and clarity are created in motion. Action produces momentum. Hesitation produces stagnation. Self-trust is your most important asset. Each time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you reinforce identity, confidence, and reliability. Break promises to yourself, and doubt grows. Keep them consistently, and self-discipline becomes effortless over time. Reflection multiplies results. Each evening ask, did I act according to my highest standards? Did I honor my commitments? Did I reinforce my habits and identity? Honest answers allow course correction, recommitment, and continuous growth. Accountability accelerates success. Track progress visibly. Share your commitments with someone who supports your growth. External reinforcement strengthens internal discipline and ensures momentum continues even when motivation fades. Identity drives behavior more than goals. Stop asking, "What should I do?" Start asking, "Who do I want to become?" Each repeated action, choice, and habit is a vote for that identity. Align your life with that person, and your brain will naturally follow. If this message has resonated with you and you are ready to take control of your life, master your mindset, and build unstoppable self-discipline, make sure you subscribe to the Motivational Audiobook Spot. This channel is dedicated to helping you win the battle within, develop mental toughness, and become the strongest, most disciplined version of yourself. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a motivational audiobook that can transform your life. Remember, growth begins with action, and every choice you make today shapes the person you will become tomorrow. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, and stay committed to your best self. Your journey to personal mastery starts now.